need. Whatever you need, Coach.
Whatever you
Costco,
need.
baby.
I know they say call 12, but I guess it's also call 23. And LeBron gears up for matchups with the Warriors in his career. He brings his best. And Saturday, it's going to be his 74th career game against Golden State. That includes the postseason. And they are the team he scores the most against in his career. Maybe even a little bit extra, because we know no Luka Doncic as he continues to deal with that hamstring, and no Steph Curry as he deals with that runner's knee. But Perk, how much do you think are the Lakers going to have LeBron as their primary scorer with Luka out?
LeBron who?
Costco.
LeBron's not the second option no more. That's Austin Reeves. Austin Reeves is not only the most important player outside of Luka on the Los Angeles Lakers, but one could argue he's the most important player in the NBA.
All right.
Hold on, but hear me out. Hold on, hear me out, Wendy.
He's asking you to keep...
No, it's not a settle down moment, it's a real moment. Because right now, when I look at this Laker team, we're talking about Austin Reeves auditioning. Because the biggest question out there is when they move on, or if they move on from LeBron, which it seems like it's trending that way, can Luka and Austin Reeves be those two franchise max guys that you could build the championship around? And if the answer is no, then we know that some other team out there in the league is going to believe that
they already believe it.
Okay, then. So my point
Austin Reeves is going to get big time. He's going to be unrestricted free agent. He's going to get big time contract offers. And the Lakers basically have got to have Austin Reeves replace LeBron James on the salary sheet. The question is, can he replace LeBron James as the guy who can be their offensive engine next to Luka Doncic? That's still being determined. I will say this. The other night, he comes back from this calf injury, plays 25 minutes in a very important game against the 76ers, puts up 35 points.
Lit them up.
That's the kind of performance they're going to need from him going forward, especially his minutes are still going to get held down because he's had that injury twice this season.
The offense, I don't see as an issue there, Coach, at all. It's maybe the other side of the ball.
Definitely, and that's why people, when they added Luke Kennard, the #1 three-point shooter in the NBA, at the trade deadline, there was some disappointment because they did not address their defensive shortcomings. But I agree about Austin Reeves, going back to him for a sec. He missed 19 games with the calf strain. Second game back, puts up 35. Career best numbers across the board. Would have been a surefire all-star this year if he had not been hurt. This kid has just gotten better and better and better. So you got to tip your cap because he's become a big part of their future, in my opinion, regardless of what happens with LeBron James. He's just so damn talented.
He's also incredibly fun to watch play. Like, let's not forget just the excitement level when he's got the ball. He's got all the moves. He's an expert at getting guys off balance. He can score at all three levels. And look, he's got an ABC national game tonight. He's going to be in the eye. He got an opportunity to just show the whole country how good.
And last but not least, he actually embraced these type of moments, like as being the man. We saw this a few years ago when he went into Memphis and Braun took a back seat in that playoff series and he took him home in the fourth quarter.
He announced he was him.
Yeah.
Well, it feels like for the Lakers, though, it's going to be how many games can they get their big three together for? Because so far, that's been the issue. It's they take turns. There's two guys here going off. There's two guys there. They need to be able to have all three, no matter if we're talking about a 41-year-old LeBron or not.
Only 10 games played together.
Exactly. Before that, though, we got Chet Holmgren and the Oklahoma City Thunder hosting KD and the Rockets. He's going to play against OKC for the 18th time since leaving in free agency. That was back in 2016. And his nearly 30 points per game against his former team, that's the highest average of any player in NBA history. And it's not just versus the Thunder, because he's been getting buckets at every stop in his career. He's scored at least 1,000 points for all 5 franchises he's played for. And this type of longevity, it's incredibly special. He's also averaged at least 20 points per game in every season of his career. And all of that lines up to this. He is less than 500 points away from getting into that top 5 all-time in scoring, passing Michael Jordan. Perk, you shared a locker room with him for, what, 3.5 years?
Yes.
Are you surprised to see this?
Absolutely not. I mean, he is the greatest scorer to ever play the game basketball. I'm going to say it again. He is the greatest scorer to ever play the game of basketball. And he's one of the most efficient scorers to ever play the game of basketball. When I first got to Oklahoma City, I remember KG called me, and he always wanted to do, you know, a wellness check. How you feeling? To see if I was actually missing them, but I wasn't at the time. I got to with these young bloods, and he said, man, how young fella is. And I knew he wasn't talking about Russ. and I knew he wasn't talking about James. He was talking about KD. When I got traded there, they were on the road. They came back from Orlando, and usually on the back-to-back, the next day is off. I walk into the skating ring at the time because that's what the practice facility was before they got the new one. KD in there, full out sweat, dribbling the ball, taking it from half court with about 4 or 5 coaches, tripling, doubling. He getting to certain spots. So then when people start seeing his shot making and him getting to these spots, oh, he works on that. And then to top it off, when we land in cities the night before or the evening before, he already have a middle school and a high school reserve to go get extra work in. Last but not least, I call myself a groupie because I done played with so many Hall of Famers. And all due respect to KG, Braun, Ray, Rondo, all those guys, nobody punches in the clock when it comes to being in the gym like Kevin Durant.
That's well said, Perk. Coaches in the NBA, you have your standard base defense, right? Then you have great player defense. Right? You can't guard Kevin Durant like you guard 99% of the league. And he's a guy that kept me up countless nights. And you touched on it. He put the time in, but what made him so hard to guard, Perk, is that even when you played good defense, even when you took away the separation, he still finds a way to beat you. Let's go to the videotape. 2 examples of how and why Kevin Durant is about to pass Michael Jordan on the all-time scoring list. This first example right here. So he's 7 feet tall, silky smooth touch, but he jumps higher than guys named Donovan Mitchell, and he's 6'11" doing this. Not a 6'2" athletic guard. He can elevate and shoot right over you. And the other thing is the wingspan. Look at the length. Oh, there's only one guy in the NBA, and his name is Wemby, that has a higher release point. So you can have a contest. You can be in his grill. He's going to shoot right over you, and that is one of the reasons he's become so lethal and so efficient as a scorer.
I'm trying to recover from that Wemby photo, actually. But you know what I'd say about Durant is he's one of the greatest scorers of all time, and he's unselfish because he won 4 out of 5 scoring titles in the teens. He would have won 5 in a row. He'd not got hurt. He could have won 4 or 5 more, but he changed teams. And he got criticized for that, but he was chasing wins. He was not chasing points. He's only averaged over 20 shots 3 times in his career. I mean, Donovan has done more than that. Jason Tatum has done more than that. They're in their 20s. If he really wanted to gun after this record, he'd be sniffing at Kareem right now. But he's an unselfish player in addition to being an all-time great scorer.
Well, and today, he's going up against one heck of a defense, and it's going to be interesting to see the way that those chess pieces move around the board here. Real quick, you said that Amen Thompson
is ill, but he's going to play, but come off the bench.
All right, he's going to play, but he is going to come off the bench. Something to watch for, how he looks in this one. They call it Loud City. I have a feeling that's not going to begin to touch the atmosphere in Oklahoma City with Kevin Durant back in town. It's time to get you to Doris Burke, Katie George, and Dave Pasch on the call. We'll see you at halftime. KD returns to Oklahoma City.
Yeah, you know what? I bet they won't have them signs up today.
You're in a little wig.
I bet they won't have them signs up.
Don't piss them off.
You know these gentlemen, Kevin Durant, Coach Michael Malone, Brian Windhorst, I'm Malika Andrews. We're here to get you set for the Oklahoma City Thunder and the Houston Rockets. Now,
hold on.
Yep.
She just called you Kevin Durant. Have you ever been confused for Kevin Durant?
Well, I compared myself to Wemby yesterday. You know what I mean? And that kind of went crazy.
It was Wemby before, Morris Chestnut the day before.
Morris Chestnut every day. That's not me.
We need to get him a new mirror.
If you know what, you don't have confidence in yourself, then no one's going to believe in you. Let's talk about the Oklahoma City Thunder. Perk, a.k.a. KD, apparently. The Thunder season, it started out in dominant fashion, right? Winning 24 of the first 25 games. That led us all to be sitting up here talking about if they could eclipse the Golden State Warriors record, right? They've cooled off 6. They've dropped 11 games. They're slowing down to a much more mortal 63-win pace. And now the Thunder, they're going to be without the reigning MVP, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, through the All-Star break. He's out with an abdominal injury here. Wendy, do we know exactly the timeline for him yet?
They haven't announced the timeline, but obviously he's probably going to miss the All-Star game, and it's compounded by the fact that they've got several other injured guards. And in my view, while this 16-11 stretch obviously is concerning, they've taken some losses.
Yep.
Taken some losses to some teams who think that they can beat them in the playoffs. Minnesota's beaten them a couple times. Spurs have beaten them 4 times. And I don't think Denver ever thought they couldn't beat them. They took them to 7 last year. It's diminished sort of the fear factor in the league. But if we're up to me, I would say they're still the favorite because their slowdown has been related to injuries.
But they've also lost to, at home, Charlotte, Toronto, and
Charlotte's
Indiana to mention those teams. And one thing I would say is we won the championship in 2023.
Yep.
And that following year, now you've gone from being a team that was hunting and fighting for a championship. You're getting everybody's best every single night, and you're seeing that as late. You know, they're 5-5 in their last 10 games. And I'd ask you the same question, Perk. You won a championship in Boston. What was that following year like as you as players knew that every single night you were getting, even the teams that maybe in the records and the standings weren't great, you're getting their best effort?
Well, you had to strap your boots up and get ready and get ready to get your feet high, because you're the measuring stick. Everybody wants to be what you are, and everybody wants to get what you have. And so when you think about the Thunder, right, we know they have SGA, J-Dub showed up, Chet, all that. We know they have a deep roster, but the one thing that got them the championship is their physicality. And now that's the recipe. So we're seeing young teams like Minnesota, like the Spurs, a la Detroit Pistons, pulling them on them. And they think that they have found the recipe.
But you know how hard it is to try to go back-to-back, Perk. That after you won the title with the Celtics, you all started out 27-2 that next year. So you were hot out the gate. And you said that you believed that you could have done it again.
Yeah, I did. But look, in order to go back-to-back, we haven't had a back-to-back champion in the last 7 years.
Yeah, since the Warriors.
In order to do that, you got to have some luck. And what luck means being healthy, right? That's a concerning part for us with the Thunder, being healthy. I don't think they should be considered the title favorites right now.
See, I think that's a mistake. None of these injuries are season-ending injuries.
See, that is a back-to-back outfit right there. For
I got the same jacket.
The Rockets can look at you and say, you're worried about these injuries? We got two starters, Fred VanVleet and Steven Adams, are done for the year at knee surgery. The Thunder players are all expected back. That's something that should be positive.
Here's one thing from a basketball standpoint. Injuries, we all know that happens. OKC has the #1 defense in the NBA. They helped them win a championship last year. A lot of that has to do with them turning teams over and getting points off of that. They're 5-5 in their last 10 games. They're not turning teams over. They're not getting offense off their defense. That's one of the big reasons that San Antonio has beaten them 4 times this year, because they don't turn the ball over. So that's a recipe. If you're going to find a way, be physical like you talked about, but take care of the rock, don't fuel their break, and make that team play in the half court.
And Wendy, I would be careful, because those soft tissue injuries, that the hamstring injury with J-Dub, we see what Eric Gordon is going through. He's battling the same injury that he battled last postseason, right? And SGA is out with an abdominal strain. Now, y'all may not believe this, but at one point in my life, I actually had abs. You know what I mean? I actually had abs, and I had a.
He had a 2-pack.
Yeah, I could never really get the bottom part to get where it needs to go, but that's okay. But I went through that, and I'm telling you, it takes longer than just when you get back to recover from that. So again, I'm just looking at the physicality from everybody else and the confidence.
Right.
If you show those clips of what Minnesota did to them last game and how Wemby feel like he owns them right now in the San Antonio Spurs, I just don't have.
You want to sell your Thunder stock?
I'm not selling nothing. No, Sam Presti, I love you.
Jacket on
Sam Presti, everybody, Wilson over there, Matt, I love you guys. I got to do my job.
Well, we still see, though, OKC has a 4.5-game lead in the standings in the Western Conference.